like, share, and subscribe, and ring the little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop. It's another week. For me, it's Sunday. This is going out Monday. In Israel, the week starts on Sunday. It's weird. There's no Sunday. It's really bizarre. It took me about 10 years to get used to it. We have like Friday and Saturday off instead of Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, so Sunday's the first day of the week. And yeah, as is my want on pretty much every day. But yeah, also the first day. I'm always excited. First day of the week. What's this week going to bring us? And I always Google Doctor Who. And then I go on, click on the news tab. And I have sort by most recent, right? And I'm always given a splattering of stories to talk about. And they're normally like very, very interesting stories, right? So that's where we are again. This is another news whoop. Who knows by the time this video airs what news may happen. Listen, the Hugh Grant thing came out of nowhere, didn't it? Well, I mean, honestly, the Ross Lee Davis thing came out of nowhere. Who knows or dares to dream what evil they may wrought by the time this goes out in 24 hours, like literally 24 hours. I don't know, but let's take the piss out of the stuff they said over the weekend. Fine, before we get into it, can you hit the like button? That'd be pretty nice. You know, it's nice to like people. Can you hit the share button? Also pretty nice. I mean, really? I mean, you got two things in the pretty nice column right there. But, you know, we have to leave the pretty nice column and go into the super nice column. Like, the super, super nice column is the subscribe button. And can you hit that subscribe button? That'd be great. That'd be fantabby. A double dozy, if I may say so. If I may quote the great Crankies. It may be fandabby double dozy for you to hit the subscribe button. Either here or on Rumble, wherever you are. If you're on Rumble, hit the Rumble button as well. Yeah, did you hit any button? Any button that you think I might like, you can go ahead and hit it. Go and sign up to my Substack, which I have been tardy on since Purim. Purim was like a week ago. It's a Jewish holiday. We have a bit of a massive piss up, and I haven't really got back on it since. In fact, man, I've had a bizarre stomach virus over the last 24 hours. If it's my dearest hope, right? It's my dearest hope I get through recording this whole video without having to take a break to defecate violently. I'm hoping I haven't had the warning to take a break, right? Like I'm hoping even more I don't definitely violently defecate into camera, you know, even though that might get me a few hits. Probably not on YouTube. It'll probably be a whole different platform I'll be on at that point. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, comment, Substack, sign up to my Substack. I'm getting back to it today. Assuming that I get to spend more than half hour, you know, off the bathroom. That'd be great. Why do they call it bathrooms? Nobody goes into the bathroom for a bath. I mean, I guess people do. The toilet, the WC, the old water closet. If I can stay out there half hour, I might get some work done. Fine. Let's get into the stories. So this first one, I looked at it. I opened up and said, what, is this Groundhog Day? What's going on? No. So that's where we are. We're in a bit of a weird cycle right now. John Barrowman, still obsessed with John Barrowman. They cannot stand John Barrowman. The reason they can't stand John Barrowman is because he's not very cancelable. Yes, he was cancelled as Captain Jack by the BBC. So here's a question. The headline here is, Doctor Who, why John Barrowman and Captain Jack won't be returning? Well, he won't be returning in the Chibnall era, even though he really came and helped out the BBC and Chibnall by giving them a ratings boost. It's really kind of vile, isn't it? But yeah, that's what people who are into cancel culture are. They're really kind of vile, right? So, help them out, and then cancel me as Captain Jack. Cancel me on cancel. There's a Captain Jack graphic novel coming out meant to tie into Doctor Who Flux. I think you dodged a bullet there, Johnny boy. I think, and his appearance in Whittaker's Doctor Who did nothing but help them, right? Did absolutely nothing but help them. Screw you, baby. Screw you. The mob came after you disingenuously, and we don't care about anything else. Which is basically the truth. It's, again, really, really terrible. But the headline is why Captain Jack won't be returning. He won't be returning in the Chibnall era. That I'm relatively sure of. But will he be returning in the Rusty Davies era? That's really the question, right? There's a Big Finish release. Big Finish purveyors of audio drama. It had one with David Tennant and John Barrowman. Absolute Friends, I think it was called. And, you know, a lot of people pre-ordered it and it got cancelled. Did it get cancelled by Big Finish or did it get cancelled by BBC? My guess is right now, John Barrowman is cancelled by the BBC, which means I believe when Russell Lee Davies takes over, he can bring him back, right? He can totally bring him back. And he might do, I have no idea what Russell Lee Davies is going to do, right? I just hope it's going to be good. But anyway, so it's going to be interesting hearing this from Screen Rant's perspective, because they are very much on board with the cancel culture mob, right? They really like cancel culture. They're kind of big advocates of it. John Barrowman starred as Captain Jack in Doctor Who and Torchwood, but historic allegations mean the character won't be returning anytime soon. Historic allegations? No, what happened was Noel Clarke was cancelled for, at least he had some real allegations against them. I don't think any of those allegations stood up, right? As well, from what I've read in the media, none of those allegations stood up. The worst one, the only criminal one, I believe, was when he conned a young actress into doing a nude audition and then secretly took pictures of her while doing the audition. So the casting director was also in the room at the time, and he said, well, that's absolutely impossible. It's absolutely impossible. There's no way that could happen. And the explanation for why is there a need to be a nude audition? Because movies cost money. And if you have a nude scene in a movie, and it's delayed because the person you paid to take their clothes off in the movie can't do it, right? Can't do it. You've lost a lot of money, right? And you have this big insurance claim. You have to be, so you do a nude audition to make sure they can do they can do nude scenes. No one's holding a gun to anybody's head saying you have to do nude scenes, right? And so that was the worst allegation, right? I heard laddish behavior, is what I would describe it. Like at a rap party, somebody did a cartwheel and he took a picture of them and it was like their, came out like, their legs were in the air, their knickers were showing, their dress was fell down around, and they were giggling at it, right? And that pissed me off. So it was like about 30 of those allegations of a lesser degree than that, right? And apparently he's on his way back now, right? He had a TV show literally airing, and popular, yanked. They took off the final episode or final couple of episodes. Anyway, during all that thing, if you remember, a convention panel was posted by somebody on Twitter with Noel Clarke and Camille Coduri talking about John Barrowman, right? Talking about his antics behind the camera. So essentially and it's really weird. I really don't understand the other point of view on this, right? The story is that he would frequently get his dick out and wave it around, backstage. And I think, I understand, that sounds a bit bizarre, but I think in his industry it wasn't so bizarre, and I think it was intended to genuinely entertain, right? It doesn't strike me John Barrowman is the sort of person who kind of would be into, very openly sexually intimidating people around him, because he strikes me as a reasonably confident and well put together person, right? He seems like somebody who has belief in himself and his abilities. It's normally like, creepy losers, who don't. I know. The big thing in Hollywood, apparently, the thing that Harvey Weinstein was big into was masturbating in front of people. And I'm like, how is that a turn on? Really? I mean, really? It's kind of like, how's this turn on for anybody? I mean, Harvey Weinstein or anybody who's masturbating in front, I don't get it, okay? That doesn't seem sexy to me, right? That seems like something that maybe you want to keep to yourself, right? Maybe you want to keep to yourself, but who knows? Anyway, so because that clip then came out, John Barrowman was cancelled, and the crazes are like, no, he has broken the unwritten rules. And they are unwritten because they're not rules and they're not laws, because he hasn't broken any bloody laws, and there's no victim. Nobody's saying, I was victimized. No, the only person being victimized is Barrowman. So anyway, so that's what really happened, because I saw it in real bloody time, right? Let's hear how they describe it, shall we? John Barrowman starred as Captain Jack in Doctor Who and Torchwood, but the historic allegations that he won't become returning anytime soon. Thomas Bacon, boy, does he love cancel culture, who wrote this, Warning, this article contains discussions of misconduct. It might be scary-wary for you. You know what else is going to be scary-wary for you? The food shortages that are coming. How do I know food shortages are coming? Because even Biden said, maybe he was just blathering, he also declared war on Russia. Did you know that? That was, again, this is the weekend. This is what I woke up to after being offline for 25 hours. I woke up to Biden and said, oh yeah, no, food shortages are coming, right? Because if you didn't know, but just if you didn't know, the major producer of fertilizer is Russia, right? And now Russia is embargoed, right? They're sanctioned them, so you can't get fertilizer from Russia, which means fertilizer has apparently, according to the farmers, has gone up about 4 or 5 times in price. And it's very, very hard to get, meaning farmers aren't going to be able to grow crops like wheat, right? Wheat, Ukraine was known as the breadbasket of Europe, right? So there are going to be food shortages. Okay, at the same time, Biden was like, "Oh yeah, we need to get rid of Putin." That's like saying that's the actual declaration of war. The White House then walked it back, right? They said, "Oh no, we just no. I don't know what he meant." Basically, that's what happened. This is the world we live in. Why would this seem any weirder? I don't know. Anyway, John Barrowman. Captain Jack was a major part of Doctor Who, relaunched from 2005 onwards. He was basically the Harry Sullivan, right? He was there to be able to take up a gun because the Doctor wouldn't, right? And that was the... if you can find the old confidentials, are they still on iPlayer? They're great. Where you had Russell T Davies talking about them. Like, that's the point of Captain Jack. He was the person meant to take up a gun, right? When the Doctor would be a pacifist, which I thought was quite brilliant. Anyway, in his own, and he got his own Torchwood spin-off TV series, but he won't be returning. Introduced in a 2-part story, The Empty Child and Doctor Dances. John Barrowman's Captain Jack was a former time agent turned into a cosmic conman. He became a firm fan favourite and a regular throughout the Russell T Davies era starring in his own spin-off. They just said that twice. And I have to tell you, I think his sexuality is a major part of his appeal, right? As opposed to being what feels like a relentlessly lecturing turn-off. Like, people, gay people, good, bad, nobody gives a shit, okay? I'm happy for everybody to be happy, right? However, whatever makes you happy, right? It was part of his charm, right? It was also he's a very charming and I think he feels genuine person, right? Torture season 5 was put on hold after Davis' husband, Andrew Smith, was tragically diagnosed with brain cancer. I did not know that. I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh. Oh, well, we as we say in Judaism, refuah shlema. I wish you, Mr. Smith, a refuah shlema. That's a total recovery, right? Total recovery. Really, I had no idea. That's terrible. Wonder how he's doing. I think it must be a big factor in Russell Davies coming back to Doctor Who. How advanced is this? Captain Jack himself would eventually be brought back by current Doctor Who showrunner Chris Chibnall in an act of desperation when his ratings were in the toilet, and it worked. Passing on a mysterious warning to the 13th Doctor in the episode Future of the Judoon, which he then completely ignored. He said, under any circumstances, don't give, what was it called again? The Siberium to the lone Cyberman? Oh, I can't remember. Right? Just don't do that. And then she did that. Like a couple of episodes, yeah. And then she said, oh, Icky Thump, I'll work it out later because I'm really smart, me. God, she's awful. And then appeared in the 2021 holiday special, again, saving their asses. Revolution of the Dalek. Helping the Doctor break out of jail. Yes. Why could this Doctor not even break out of jail? Man, that's embarrassing, right? That's really just embarrassing. Most viewers assumed that at that time Captain Jack will become a regular once again, but that's not going to happen. Now, I am reasonably convinced that he took Vinder's role in Flux, right? If you don't know, just before Yeah, when you actually say this stuff out, it's incredible. Like a few days before, they announced the departure of Whitaker and Chibnall on a pre-recorded Comic-Con YouTube segment, right? Where you couldn't make comments or chat or anything. They had the big Doctor Who Comic-Con announcement, and their big announcement wasn't Whitaker's leaving, wasn't Russell Davies coming back, because they didn't know. They knew the day before. No, it was, we got Jacob Anderson. That's our big news. We have Jacob Anderson. And we're so happy. We're so happy. We're like, who the hell's Jacob Anderson? And it's like, oh, remember that guy from Game of Thrones who like, you didn't really notice much? Really? That one? Yeah, the one who was always on screen with the super, super, super insanely hot woman. What's the name? What's the name again? Manuel. Oh, I can't remember. The interpreter, super hot. I mean, like, just insanely hot. So I'm sorry, I didn't know Jacob Anderson so much. The what's the word I'm looking for? The castrated warrior. Literally, I'm like, really? Shall I look at the insanely hot woman, or shall we look at the castrated warrior? I'm gonna stick with the insanely hot woman. Okay, cool. Call me a weirdo if you will. Anyway, so that's the big news. Jacob Anderson. I'm like, what? So I think that big news, it was big news to him because he needed somebody to fill in the Captain Jack bits that he had to take out, because the BBC said, oh no, Captain Jack is a bad boy. No more John Barrowman. Once again, but that's not going to happen. In May 2021, historic allegations of misconduct were made against John Barrowman. No! They weren't historic No, that didn't happen. A video from a convention, and what was it, 2010 maybe? With Camille Kadori and Noel Clarke having a laugh, speaking publicly at a convention that was being recorded. I mean, this, again, 10 years ago. And he said, yeah, listen, you always get it out. And told a story one time Camille Kadori was in makeup and she looked on her shoulder and there was John Barrowman's penis. Now, I understand, if you work in the bank, that may be, not behaviour that's somewhat frowned upon. If you work in theatre, it's not. As far as I understand, right? As far as I understand. So yeah, they didn't emerge. There wasn't no new allegation. It was Twitter crazes who are the wokest skulls, who are the the Mary Whitehouses of our day. Sexism, and the reason they're all like that because none of them have any understanding of their own sexuality. Like, have you ever wondered why there's such a high percentage of autistic and asexual people in this group of like Twitter weirdos? And I want to be clear, if you're autistic and asexual, I'm not saying you're a Twitter weirdo, but I'm saying that if you're a Twitter weirdo, there's a high chance you're autistic and asexual. Honestly, being asexual, that's a really new thing to me. I mean, I understand being scared to talk to a girl. Okay, if that's what we mean by asexual, it's nothing new, mate. And listen, if you're one of those people who are asexual, may I tell you, they're as scared as you. Okay, they're as scared as you. And weirdly enough, the more attractive a young lady is, the more nervous they are as well. It's really bizarre, right? It's really bizarre. And this, again, just a little bit of dating advice on the Rabbi. The thing that women, I have found, respond to the best is confidence and self-assurity, which the Twitter weirdos lack completely. Anyway. It was accused of repeatedly exposing themselves to co-workers in production. No, repeatedly exposing yourself, it makes it sound like it's abusive, right? Yeah. No, it seems like all the co-workers like, it's got to stick out again. Yeah. I get, why is this going around again? During the production, although his actions were regarded as predatory. No, by nobody other than the Twitter weirdos, right? Anonymous witness described themselves as feeling uncomfortable. Anonymous witness off. There are, anonymous witnesses. However, the anonymous ones, the conspicuous ones, all said it was a laugh. What are you talking about? David Bloody Tennant referenced it in the rap song. for his time in Doctor Who, and then published it on YouTube. Really, Johnny B getting his dick out, I think, was the line. Okay. In 2008, Barrowman put him on the radar of BBC producer Julie Gardner, and she gave him a warning. Yes! Well, boy, does that make sense, right? Does that make a lot of sense? Yes, Julie Gardner acting professionally, saying, listen, mate, this is not a small theatre production. You got to keep it zipped up. Barrowman publicly apologised at the time. Okay, so why are we going on? It's over at this point, isn't it? Publicly apologise? No. But then the issue resurfaced in 2021, and BBC clearly felt the need to cut ties. BBC. The BBC. Like, really? That group of morons? What? Like, I can't wait. I cannot wait till they have no sway over not only Doctor Who, anything. I mean, really, it's I've never seen an organisation been destroyed quite as thoroughly and quite as quick. No, actually, I lie. We're talking about organisations being destroyed thoroughly and quickly. That'll be America, right? How long it took by, 12 months, 14 months to, like, really genuinely destroy America? I mean, I don't see how they're coming back from this, but anyway. Previously published Captain Jack cameo was removed from Doctor Who Time Fracture. Escape room. It's not an escape room. Oh god, it looks crap, but it's not an escape room. It's an interactive, immersive adventure. A Time Big Finish audio drama. Amazon Friends featured David Tennant. Barrowman was cancelled. Well, shelved, shall we say? In the official statement, producer said Time Fracture declared their intention to continue to include content that pays tribute to the brilliant show that is Torchwood, so not to disappoint fans. More recently, a Time Captain Jack comic book. Before Doctor was pulled as well. All happened at the same time, right? All happened at the same time. Barrowman's position probably hasn't been helped by what seems to be a defensive attitude. Really? Like, what are you talking about, you weirdos, right? Right? Yeah. That defensive attitude, that you're shit, right? Oh, his defensive, really? And if he took his public penance, would you let it go? No. Show me a time when you have let anything go, right? Ever. No, you haven't, have you? Thank you. In his view, his apology issued in 2008 was sufficient. And in any case, times have changed. In any case, times have changed. I think that if it was now, it would be crossing a line. Agreed. But I think something that happened 15 years ago was bawdy behaviour, silly behaviour, according to Doctor Who Production News. Barrowman has since been accused of blackballing him. BBC blackballing him, complaining that he'd made a lot of money for him and he felt loyalty hadn't been reciprocated. Well, that's how I started the story. You know why he feels that way? Because that's what happened, right? That's what bloody happened, weirdos. As such, Barrowman is unlikely to return Doctor Who, meaning story of Captain Jack has come to an end until Rusty Davies comes back. Maybe sanity is going to come back with him. I don't know. I would like to hope it will do, right? I would like to hope it will do. Fine, we've got a bunch of other little stories. Like, this story is such a non-bloody story. Look at this. Doctor Who releases Legends of the Sea Devils preview images. This was in my video on Saturday, right? From SFX magazine. What do I have to say? They got a lot to say about it. So here's how it's looking. Rusty Davies is returning showrunner heading series 14 of the BBC's long-running Doctor Who, and there'll be a new Doctor, where a new Doctor will also be taking over the TARDIS, but it's not expected to take place until late 2023. The rumours are Davies is putting together a series of specials that would coincide with the BBC's 100th anniversary and would see... What? No! What? As see Matt Smith and David Tennant and other return to beloved roles. That's the EBS 2022 is their centenary, isn't it? But before we get there, there's still the matter of the current Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, and showrunner Chris Chibnall. Back with Whittaker, we have Yaz, Manda Gill, and John Bishop. Legend of the Sea Devils with Arthur Lee joining cast as Ji-hun and Marlo Chan Reeves as Ying Ki. Here's a look at the newly released preview images written by Christian Edda Road and directed by Haolu Wang. Wang I got right. I could get Wang right. Followed by a look back at the trailer as well. So fine, yeah. Look, we see the Sea Devil. It looks kind of like a comic strip Sea Devil. Doctor's got a new outfit, but she's very close with the ads. Oh yes. What are you doing behind that barrel, darling? I don't know. Oh look, there's a stunning and brave female pirate. Well, isn't that gonna be great? I think April 17th is the predicted date. But then they got to also mention again the Hugh Grant rumor isn't happening. They were very concerned about the Hugh Grant rumor, right? Very, very, very concerned about the Hugh Grant rumor. And it still keeps going around and around, right? It's here. We're not going to look at the full article here, but the Independent from I think 25th. Again, I'm not looking at it because you got to get through a paywall. And like, can I just say this to you, idiot newspapers? Okay, this is what you do if you want people if you want to make money, from your online content. Don't get me to sign up for a month subscription. I'm not interested, right? Do it like a newspaper. Charge me whatever, 20p, 30p, 50p to read all the content from that day's edition, right? And that's it. Right? Don't make me buy a subscription. If I offer it to me, but I don't want it, right? Let me pay 50p and be able to read your bullcrap, right? The Times also had this reasonably good article about Tom Baker getting drunk a lot in the 70s, which seemed kind of fun. And it was behind a paywall, and I'm like, I'm not paying to go behind. It's not that important to me, mate, right? Media. Hugh Grant as new Doctor is just the latest casting rumor playing havoc in the media. Yeah, we don't know what to report. While many actors decline to comment on casting rumors, sometimes they even resort to lying in interviews. The one thing going around is people think Hugh Grant is lying. Wouldn't that be great? Ooh, just imagine. To protect franchise secret, writes Charlotte Cripps. Hugh Grant has shot down rumors that he's in talks to take over as the new Doctor in Doctor Who from Jodie Whittaker. An exclusive Daily Mirror, in the Daily Mirror last week claimed he was being lined up to play the 14th Doctor for the 60th anniversary. But this week, Grant ended speculation on Twitter saying, "Nothing is Doctor Who, but I'm not. No idea where the story came from." The trouble with unverified reports is you can't believe them. Excuse me, this is the Independent, right? Do you not remember the piss tape with Trump, right? The unverified report of the piss tape with Trump. You love that. Oh boy, did you love that unverified report? Do you remember the unverified reports of Russian interference with the 2016 election? You love that. And the unverified reports that the Hunter Biden laptop was just Russian disinformation. You like unverified reports when they matter to you, right? God. Like, I understand. What's it like walking through your life being completely full of shit? I can't understand, right? Look, everybody lies sometimes. People do that. Human beings do that. I don't get what your constant existence of lies is going to get you. Is Tom Hardy the new James Bond? Unlikely. Is Tarkin Edgerton joining the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Wolverine? I doubt it. I mean, like, really? I doubt it. But yeah, listen, so she's crying. Oh, you Grant! No, don't know what to do. All right. So that leads quite nicely into this article over here, right? This is from CBR, another shill website, I will call it. Casting Hugh Grant in Doctor Who would have been a step in the wrong direction. What, you mean to popularity and not people hating it, right? And to me, I've just started doing in-depth reviews of Jodie Whittaker episodes because the first time I watched them with a positive eye, right? I watched them, wanting to like them. I overlooked a lot of mistakes, right? And I didn't look at it with a critical eye, especially Rosa, right? And it wasn't until I think by the time I realized it was awful, which was around Witchfinders, and it was going to be awful forever. I just kind of lost interest. But now I'm going back looking at it with a critical eye, and the quality is so breathtakingly low, right? Just so mind-meltingly, breathtakingly low of writing and just everything. It's just so low. I think going to higher quality might not be a bad idea. Also, the reason Jodie Whittaker, the only reason that she got the job is because she has a vagina. Right? It's not that she had any real aptitude for the job other than having a vagina. Now, listen, I think the Doctor is a character who has many attributes. His wit, his intelligence, his moral standing. Never his vagina, right? Or even testicles, right? He's never like, oh no, the Daleks are coming. Better whip out my nads. No, that's never happened, has it? Right? It's lit, and really, the reason she's been so useless as a Doctor is because, well, she's been written to be useless as a Doctor, but again, all she had to do is continue having a vagina to meet all the criteria in which she got the job. And she goes, yep, still got one, still got a snatch, baby, and it's still stunning and brave. But not for the male gaze, let me tell you, darling. No one wants to gaze. No, trust me. Keep it to yourself. Okay, but yeah, so this is still people in meltdown beyond meltdown because they know it's coming. Right? They know it's coming. They know the next Doctor Who is going to be very successful. Everybody knows the next Doctor Who is going to be very successful. And it's unlikely at best that they're going to continue with a female Doctor. Right? And maybe they will. I don't know. It just seems to me the only reason Russell Davies would have taken this job on is to be very successful at it, right? And he's not going to be very successful at it with a female Doctor. Now, that being said, I think it's reasonable there may be a multiverse thing going on, and we get to see lots of what-if Doctors. Some of them will be women, some of them... I think that's highly possible. I think the having a black Doctor is very possible. I think they should have done it in the 80s, quite frankly, really. Could you imagine? I mean, okay, Colin Baker, love a bit of Colin, love a bit of Nicola. In all fairness, Colin, I love a bit of Nicola. But that just threw me off. But that was a time to cast a black actor. You could have got a qualitatively higher quality actor if it was a black actor in the mid '80s, when it would have been a thing. They were like, wow, that's quite brave, right? But now, like, who cares? Was a recent Doctor Who rumor had Hugh Grant taking over for Jodie Whittaker, and he would have been the wrong choice to play the Doctor. Why? Tell me why. We're intrigued. We want to know. We would like to know. The only casting rumor mill which grinds as furiously as guessing the next James Bond is figuring out who will be the next Doctor Who. It's fair. That's fair. Every time an actor's tenure is nearing the end and the Doctor's next regeneration cycle approaches, several reliable names are tossed around with some new suggestions. I remember when Rusty Day was bringing it back in 2005, right? I liked Eddie Izzard was a name that was bandied around a lot. Then I kind of like that idea, right? I think he's a great actor. Eddie Izzard is a really good actor. He's a really fascinating human being as well. He did that. It was like about 50 marathons in 70 days or something ridiculous like that. And he's just a very, very driven person. But he's a great actor, right? Absolutely fantastic actor. He made the first season of Powers watchable. Without him, it wasn't. Oh god, that's a bad show. Bad show from a great comic. Cousin was seen completely limitless, especially since the recent canon has established Doctor can be any gender as well as any age or background. Yeah, but has it though? It seems to have decanonized that idea, hasn't it? By being so just titanically awful, right? Titanically awful. But the casting rumor which has emerged recently was a doozy because everybody knew it would be successful. The rumor claimed that Hugh Grant was in talks to step into the Doctor's shoes and perfectly tailored coat. Grant took to social media to refute the idea, so it seemed the idea of a Golden Globe winner playing the Doctor was mere speculation. But unconfirmed suggestions of his potential casting seemed created some fan backlash in the short period for understandable reasons. No, it didn't, and they're not understandable. Well, okay, it didn't create fan backlash. It created fan elation, except from the teeny tiny bubble of piss babies that live on Twitter. They lost their shit. Okay, they lost their shit for understandable reasons. No, none of them were understandable. And the understandable reason why you need Hugh Grant is we're looking on screen now. Jodie Whittaker's magical portrayal of the Doctor. Hardcore fans and casual viewers alike saw several issues with Grant. No, they didn't. Okay, no, they didn't. As the next Doctor, he saw two issues: a penis and a white skin color, because you're racist and you're sexist. Right? The casting quickly returning to an overrepresented character type. How is a white man an overrepresented character type when, approximately, what about 44% of the country is that, of the target market is that? I mean, given that, 9% of people are, what's the name, percentage of black people, black and Asian, things like 9%. Right? So, okay, so if 50% would be men and 50% women. So you take 9% divide it into two. So I say 45%, 44% round there. Yeah. How's that? Okay. Yes. Yeah. And now, why a man over a woman? Well, because probably 80% of the target audience would prefer that. Why? Because men and women are not interchangeable, and I know they keep telling us they are. No, they're not. Being a woman is unique. Being a man is unique. They are, and not all women have identical character traits and strengths and weaknesses. Equally, men don't. However, there are generalities that apply to minimally 98% of humanity, right? And that's just the reality of it, mate. Right? It's hardwired into us that men are masculine and women are feminine. Now, the Doctor is a role that I think is fluid enough that it could be played by a woman as long as they played it as a masculine role, or they played it like it wasn't a mindless Teletubby as Jodie Whittaker has chosen to. So let's see. So let's see how they're going to spin their racism and sexism, right? The uber famous Grant breaking from the show's history of casting lesser known actors. The fact, because Chibnall and Whittaker have been a disaster and they've blown it up essentially. The fact his taking over might mean dumping several narrative arcs. They're going anyway. Nothing's staying, right? They're getting set up in the last few seasons of Doctor Who. Yeah, how's that gone down? How's it gone down, mate? Did people like those character arcs, or did people go, this is shit, and we don't want to watch it? I think they went, this is shit, and we don't want to watch it, didn't they? Didn't they now? Yeah, they did. So bizarre. It's just, people's disconnection from reality. And I hate to keep you going back to politics, which is just such a perfect example. Yeah, because I follow politics, I'm interested in it, right? And especially the US government stuff, right? Look, the English government is just a shambles. There's nothing. There's no good guys or bad guys. They're all bad. Everybody's bad. People are like, oh, you bet you love Bojo. No, I don't. Okay, I think Billy Connolly's description of him as a idiot toff sounds 100% accurate, right? And never trust an idiot toff, right? But why I feel that the entirety of the British political structure is both corrupt and evil, but there's kind of somewhat of a bumbling charm to them. But over in America, it's a 1984-esque complete detachment from reality. So we have all these sanctions. I'm going to call them a famine, as well as everything else, on Russia. And as the sanctions were started, again, I saw it. We saw the vice president. We saw the Secretary of State, and we saw Jen Psaki, the press officer, all say the point of these sanctions are to deter Russia from invading Ukraine. Right? That all happened. Right? Within weeks. Right? Within weeks, it was transmitted internationally, right? No one's complaining. No one's saying it didn't happen. And then again, in the same bizarre press conference where Biden shouted at people and he had like declared war, and he also said, "Oh yeah, no, but we never thought sanctions would work. Oh, but there's a famine coming. We never thought sanctions would disturb it. And don't say that I did, dude. You're entitled. This disconnect from reality is so weird, right? So yeah, your disconnect from reality. Or that in any way this era of Doctor Who has been anything other than an utter failure, right? An utter failure. But you know, these people are just disconnected from reality. I'm watching Star Trek Picard, right, which started off. First episode, really good. First episode, very Star Trek-y, and they basically said, we listened to every one of your complaints on the first season. Now Federation is good, Starfleet is good, everyone is in Starfleet, there's lots of different starships, and they're all doing Star Trek-y stuff, just forget everything before, right? That rogue captain before, now he's a Starfleet captain. Why? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? And I was like, yeah, I don't give a shit. They give me what I wanted, right? They give me what they wanted. So now they did this time travel thing, and they do riff a lot of Star Trek 4 in it, where but they're looking around at all these like bizarre left-wing policies, like poop on the street in LA and all these homeless people, and like the world is not a good place, right? All because of these weird left-wing, policies, and then they go, this is because of the orange man, capitalism, bad. Like, no. It's complete disconnect from reality. Anyway, no one seems to seriously question whether Grant could actually play the part. Nobody seems to seriously question that Whittaker could actually play the part. You want to ask me that question now? Can Jodie Whittaker play the part of Doctor Who? No! I want to get a big newspaper and roll it up and go bang him on the nose. Go no! Don't do that to Doctor. It's not. I don't do that. I'll do that to the BBC. I wouldn't do it to my dog. I love my dog. Yes, he can play the part. Okay, nobody seems to question if he could play the part because he can. Because he's an actor of international repute. Yes. The actor has portrayed numerous lovable rapscallions in his career, and many would have been delighted to see him step into what would have been the biggest and longest running television role. But while he was capable... Okay, so why are you bringing up? So Nathan, you're going, oh yeah, he could do it. But nobody even asked if he could do it. But now I'm asking, yes, he could do it. Okay? But while he was capable, didn't mean he'll be right for the franchise now or maybe ever. The reason that you're freaking out is because he was so right for it. Because this shit has been so wrong. Okay? Grant will have been another long line in white men playing the Doctor. So what, you racist fuck? What is wrong with that? So what? Oh no, there's a black man playing Othello. Oh no, there's another black man. Really? Like that? Let's recast the Rani as a big strapping black bloke, right? No, I like. What's wrong with that? You racist piece of human excrement. Oh, and how's it worked out? By the way, Jodie Whittaker, being stunning and brave. Shit. Co-star Jodie Whittaker finally pushed open the door, which has been cracked for years, but began fully opening of the promise of women. Okay, sure. I'm all for equality, right? Equality opportunity is a very good thing. I don't see the entertainment industry, especially behind the camera. I don't see why they would. Why you'll be disadvantaged by being a woman. In fact, I don't see any legal way of disadvantaging anybody for being a woman in the Western world, right? And if you see it, I'm with you to say that's got to go. That is 100% got to go. So, promise of women, fine. 50% of the world, and I'm all for women getting whatever representation that society needs them to have to feel represented, right? I'm totally up for that. I mean, listen, in the 70s, Wendy Craig, a fantastic writer and actress, she had to have a pseudonym to get her script sold at the BBC. Fine! Okay, that's messed up. I don't want to live in that world. I want to live in a world where Nobody has to do that. So far, what was doing? Non-binary, queer, and non-white actors could star in in one of the world's longest-running shows. Okay, why non-binary, queer, and like we're talking about? Okay, why aren't you championing like Jews? There's more Jews than there are non-binary people. Why aren't Jews in this list? Oh, right, because you socialist cunts can't stand Jews, can you? Right, that's why we're not on the progressive stack. Non-binary, queer, and non-white actors could star in the world's longest-running TV shows, although a hiatus may be in order. Why? It's been so successful. Why? I'd like to, please tell me why. Recent season introduced Jo Martin's future doctor in smaller appearances, but she's black, isn't she? And she's a woman, so you told me she's a doctor. Dude, this is all going to be retconned away. And you're not going to be able to say anything because Ross D. Davis is an ally. Which is why I think he's being very vocally an ally right now. A lot of people are getting scared. Oh, he's into all the woke stuff. Yes, he is. He's also into being successful and rich, right? He's very into that. Which has led to speculation, hope, and even expectations. That's the problem of the weirdos. The Doctor next regeneration will break the mold and cast another woman. Well, break the mold and do exactly the same thing. Personal colour or LGBTQIA+. Okay, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, questioning. What's I? They like it in the arse? Oh, yeah, I like it in the arse. Plus. IA plus. I like it in the arse. I think A is ally. What's I? Intersex. I is intersex. Okay. You're all full of shit. I'm sorry, this teeny, tiny demographic. You want to make the majority of people on TV, the majority of people in the world are sympathetic to you, and nobody means anybody any harm, but we want to watch TV, right? We want to watch TV, and we want it to reflect us. Not this weird, teeny, tiny minority. We want it to reflect the diversity of the audience. Oh, something, when you get to real diversity, that's when they start to shit themselves. To promptly jettison the possibility and cast Grant or any other white male would frustrate Doctor Who fans. What, all 7 of them? And they're not Doctor Who fans. They're all leaving anyway. Who appreciated seeing more diversity. You didn't see more diversity. You saw markedly less diversity, right? I'm recording this on Sunday. Tonight I'm doing a beat-by-beat recap and review of the episode Arachnids in the UK. Which is awful. Just stupid. Contradictory, but exists solely to say what a terrible person Donald Trump was. And again, I'm not saying he was the greatest thing in the universe. I am saying we had world peace and a booming economy and the lowest minority unemployment in history, right? And now we have nothing but misery, right? So it's kind of seems a bit tone deaf now, doesn't it? But not only is the Doctor an established character who can break ground, the show has historically cast actors who are less established, or at least less well known outside of England. Let's go through it. They've all been around William Hartnell level, really, haven't they? William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton was about as famous as William Hartnell. John Pertwee was maybe a little bit more famous. Tom Baker was kind of on the bubble. I don't think his movie appearances have come out yet when he was cast as the Doctor. As Rasputin. I think Peter Davison, he was more famous in the UK. Colin Baker was not. Sylvester McCoy, out left field casting. Paul McGann was probably one of the biggest names at the time. And Alan Yentob said, look, we need a big name. They wanted, was it Andrew Gotka or something? Some person nobody's ever heard of, but he said, no, we need a recognisable name. Matt Smith was on the bubble. Eccleston was also a big name. People recognise Eccleston, right? Tennant, not so much. Capaldi was like, who? What's going on, really? And then Jodie Whittaker. So Grant is more famous than all of them. Okay, that's fair. The current series stars from Eccleston and Picardy have long, illustrious careers on screen and stage before joining Doctor Who, but none of them would have been considered international superstars. Yes, and we needed it because you morons have destroyed Doctor Who. But again, as you're destroying the world, yeah, it's not the biggest deal. On the other hand, Hugh Grant spent decades as a sort of actor whose name could guarantee a film's funding, whose casting often brought other A-list stars and directors to the project. I mean, why do you think that Chibnall didn't hand over to a successor? Because nobody would touch it. Nobody would touch it because it turned into a toxic slag, right? Absolute toxic wasteland. Toxic slag. I tell you, great name for if anybody wants to do a themed stripper stroke prostitute, a toxic slag. That's the way to go for. Yeah, I might do a comic book. Toxic slag. Toxic slag beats the Martians. Toxic slag beats the Martians off. That's one that might sell more. He starred across Julia Roberts and Meryl Streep. He's worked with the Wachowskis and Guy Ritchie, all of whom command some of the biggest names and budgets in production. If he was cast, his fame shaping the role more than the other way around. That's actually a fair criticism, but again, I think it would only have been for one or two specials. While Jodie Whittaker's term as a Doctor has been uneven episodically. What do you mean? She hasn't made that many. Whittaker's performance has been widely praised. No! Widely praised by your tiny little bubble of piss babies that live on Twitter. Right? Her presence opened the show to tell different stories. Like, what stories? What stories are they telling now they couldn't tell before? List them. Oh, I remember. Shit, boring stories. You're right. We don't want those. We want exciting, engaging stories, not shit, boring stories. Really? You don't want shit, boring stories? Are you sure? No, we're completely sure. We don't want shit, boring stories, right? Doctor Who has raised Whittaker's profile on the world stage. Yeah. What's the next job? Oh, yeah, she's taking time off for a baby, right? Maybe we should take a little bit of time to spend time with family. Completely coincidental. Nothing to do with the abject failure that she's been as a Doctor, right? And how much they've destroyed the show. And create a mirrored policy, not only character with the Doctor, but the career of whichever actor takes on the role next. It does that. Of course. There's a chance that Grant's casting could still happen. Yes! That's what we all want. We all want it to still happen. Despite his denial, it would be the first time an actor has played innocent. It wouldn't be the first time an actor has played innocent. Yeah, look at Spider-Man No Way Home. Whether it's good, no formal offer has been made, contracts haven't been signed, or the studio has given them a date which nothing can be made public. One example is the reason Spider-Man No Way Home, where they stars issued denials, not merely for months, but years, claiming that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield weren't going to appear, only for them to have a substantially plot-heavy roles to fill. Yeah, I missed out a letter there, but okay, and I'm all for that, so yeah, I'm hoping. Whether or not Grant was truly considered, hopefully the uproar he prompted has made Doctor Who production teams seriously consider okay, you're meaningless. Okay, your protest was meaningless and pointless and worthless. Much like you are meaningless, pointless, and worthless. Right? The way to stop being meaningless, pointless, and worthless is to come off Twitter and start acting like a human being. Right? Start interacting with other people. Yeah, stop being, this is going to be a technical term, right? This is going to be a technical term that will confuse you. Stop being a cunt, right? Stop being a cunt, and then, life might get better. Ari promised should continue to break new ground. Oh, don't worry about Rusty Davis. He's going to break new ground. He's going to break new ground like you can't bloody imagine. The way Whittaker did. She didn't. She broke new ground in making Doctor Who unwatchable shit, right? Mostly because of Chris Chibnall, but her performance was atrocious, right? Yeah, it always amazes me that Colin Baker says, oh, she brought so much joy to the role. Or Chris Reckles say, oh, she's the best Doctor. Oh, the best. Yeah, tell me which episodes really did that. See, that's the thing that blows my mind, right? Especially Eccleston, who put so much store in the craft of acting, right? And how important he finds it. actually watch this shit, right? Watch this episode, and then tell me if I'm a bigot, or if you tell me I have some valid criticisms. Because if I don't have valid criticisms, why can't you answer them? All right, none of you can. And the response to this casting rumor clearly shows how much fans and understand and appreciate it. Clearly shows you are full of shit. They have shit beyond shit, mate. That's what's going on. That's what shows it. Melanie Killingsworth. I dub the a moron. If you want to come on my channel, have a right reply, I'm all up for that. Genuinely, and I won't be rude, but we can have a pleasant, we can try and have a pleasant conversation, right? But as it stands right now, Melanie, you're a bit of a dummy, darling. You're a bit of a dummy. Somebody should have told you that many years ago. My name is Tzvi Lebetkin, the Rabbi from another planet. Please like, share, subscribe, and ring that little bell. Ring the little bell so you're notified when new videos drop.